Hi Steve, thanks for joining us today. If we just get started, if you could just introduce yourself, what it is you do.
Yeah, man, thank you very much, first of all, for having me. Steve Beedie. I own a business where I help oil companies, energy companies, better understand their mental health by having open-ended conversations. I help people open the bleed off on their stress.
Fantastic. Now, before we get into that and your offshore career and your army career and everything else, you grew up in Banff, single mother,
Yeah.
brought you up. So how was life in Banff?
Yeah, going right to it. Do you know what? It was fucking good, mate. It
Yeah.
really was. It was.
I've been through Banff. I don't think it's somewhere I'd like to spend years.
It was.
Sure.
Yeah. So I mean, in all honesty, I say it was great because it was tough.
Yeah.
Like a fishing town. Oil was just kind of like exploding. And I grew up, a single mum, didn't know my dad. And so we didn't have any money. I mean, like, this was the 80s, like...
Banff doesn't look like a place that's got a lot going on as far as work.
Not now.
Fishing.
And back then it was busy.
Okay.
A lot of fishing, and they would berth
Yeah.
in Macduff.
Okay.
They had the ice house, and as kids, we'd be there like packing ice onto the fish trays and all that. So yeah, but it was a busy town. And it was a kind of hub for so many places. A lot of people came there, especially in the summer. We had Turlair, Macduff, big music events, as in like, like Wet, Wet, Wet.
Okay.
Loads of other ones as well. But yeah, now sadly, it's kind of had a bit of a decline.
Like a sleepy place, isn't it?
Yeah. But my heart is always in Banff.
Yeah. It's home.
It's home.
Yeah.
I'm always going up there. My mum starts to live there, and I've got family there, friends that I grew up with. But for me, the beach, the links at Banff, because I grew up right on the edge of the cliff, overlooking that. That's where my heart belongs,
Super. Excellent. And then, so you grew up there, and then you joined the army at 16?
Yeah.
So what was the reason for the army? Was it something you always wanted to do, or was your school marks no great, or?
It was weird. I never really found school hard. I just found it incredibly boring.
Okay.
It was always, I was told exactly what we were going to be doing.
Yeah.
And if I had an idea, I was just told to shut up. And then I thought, oh, fuck you, do you know what I mean? Which was, I didn't like authority. And I guess maybe because I didn't have a dad, I kind of felt like I took on that sense of, I've got to be the protector. And I didn't use those words back when I was a kid, but definitely felt an urge to be protective over my mum and my sister. Because, my mum, she was a young woman, very attractive when she was younger. And, a lot of men liked her. And my mum was seeking love. I didn't know this when I was younger. But looking back, my mum just wanted to be, admired, loved as anyone would. But I found that really hard to deal with, boyfriends and unsuitable men. But my mum did meet one guy who became my father, and he was an incredible individual. Quiet,
Was
calm.
he from Banff as well? Or?
No, he's from Portlethen originally.
Portlethen, okay.
Via 17 years in the British Army and 20 years offshore drilling.
Right. Did he give you the bug for army, or?
I'd had it a little bit before. It was just before he came into my life. I used to go down to the youth club in Banff, and it was five-a-side football, boxing. We would do boxing as kids, and looking back now, it was fucking crazy. But yeah, one day I turned up, and our Argyll Southern Highlanders had an assault course there, and that was the moment. I'd went around the assault course a few times, and I remember at the end of it, I'm bumped into this old soldier, and he just had this fucking presence about him, and I'd never had that. And I remember him looking down at me, and he said, "All right, son." And I was like, fuck, I never had that. And it sounds so ridiculous, but I was craving it. And either I made it bigger in my mind, or it was exactly what it was, something that was needed. What's that word? Sustenance.
Yeah.
That word. I'm a big wordsmith. I like to write. I like to read a lot. I believe in the power of words. Sometimes you can say something to somebody and it can change their life.
Yeah.
You know, and you just might get them in a really hard minute of their life. And if you say something really kind, that could last years with them and put a totally different trajectory on their life. So we must always believe, and sometimes the things we say really does hold power. And, you know, how you doing, son? That was enough for me to go, fucking hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just remember going, I want to be whatever the fuck you are.
So you joined the Royal Signals?
I joined the Royal Signals, yeah, which was because of my dad.
Yeah.
And a bit of fate intertwined there. So my stepdad, but I never called him that. So my dad came into my life, and I was feral.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there's stories back in the day. My mum had the whole town looking for me for 3 days at one point. I think I was 9. I was up in the woods, was just building hutties. Yeah, no dad to tell me no.
Yeah.
My mum couldn't control me. You know, I just did my own thing.
Just do what you want.
Yeah, and I was feral. Yeah, I kept my mum busy. But my dad came on, and he fucking straightened me out.
Put you in your place.
Or rapidly. Never raised his voice at me, ever. Never swore at me. Never lifted his hand to me. I think I needed his strength, like a stoic strength. But I respected him,
Yeah.
you know, for the man he was. Very intelligent man. But he would do things like, right, I'm going offshore. When I come back, I want 300 stones laid out by the foundations. Oh, fucking hell, you know. So that's my whole summer. And I would have to go and batter old fucking stone walls, get the actual rock stone, put it into the, you know, the fucking
wheelbarrow.
The wheelbarrow, put it in the barrow and shovel it over. That would take me weeks.
Yeah. And
as much as I was cursing them, by the time he got back and I went back to school, I'd arms.
Yeah.
And I'm like, holy shit.
But you wanted his approval, I'm guessing.
I wanted his approval. Oh, massively wanted his approval. I would have done anything for it. But he didn't abuse anything. He was just a good bloke. Impossible standards to live up to.
Yeah.
Impossible. But you know what? It worked.
Yeah.
And he's ex-Royal Signals.
So you joined the Signals?
So I joined the Signals. Best thing I ever did as a young man.
Yeah. And you done 4 tours?
I did 4 tours, yeah. I did 1999.
Yeah.
I was 18. I got sent to Kosovo alongside my squadron, which was under the tutelage of Sir General Jackson. He sadly passed away recently. Incredible military tactician. Wonderful man to work under. But yeah, that was an eye-opener.
In what way?
Seeing kids get hurt. I wasn't expecting to see kids get hurt. Like to this day, I can't watch horror. I like chick flicks and Lord of the Rings. And
what were you expecting then? If you weren't expecting that, what were you thinking?
I guess I was expecting in my naivety to see enemy combatants, you know, fall under fire. But seeing women and children slaughtered.
It's brutal.
Yeah, it's unthinkable.
Okay, so and was that for the first time you went off?
Yeah.
Okay, and then you done that 3 more times?
Yeah, I did 2 tours of Kosovo. The second one, we came across a kid that was blown up. His father was carrying him. He was an absolute mangled mess. That really shifted the axis of my, I guess, what's the right word? My soul.
Mm-hmm. Your mindset.
Yeah, a mindset, my soul. There's have you ever heard of the concept of the seat of the soul?
No.
So it's this place that's inside of us. It's where we take seat. It's whatever the mantle of who you are. And it's our sovereignty. And I lost mine that day. And I became a very dark individual, twisted and bittered with the world, angry with the world. Because we got ordered to leave that kid at the side of the road. And I just thought, this is wrong.
Who orders something like that?
Just military.
And what would you have done?
Stopped. Been a fucking human being.
And the reason you didn't stop, or the reason why the military says you couldn't, your safety, I'm guessing, the safety of...
No.
No?
No, just bigger, you know, missionary fucking objectives. that's not why we were there.
Yeah.
We were there for something else that day. Continue on.
Wow.
Yep.
So hard to deal with for you and the rest of your team, or
20,
some people.
Yeah, 22 years went by, and my old detachment commander, I was having a catch-up drink with him. I hadn't seen him in 20 plus years. He still calls me kid. And he's like, I like kid. And brilliant guy. Go to see him next month, actually. And he said, he messaged me, and he said, kid, I didn't know that's why you were struggling so much. I remember that day. I'm fucking sorry I wasn't there for you. The 20 plus years of my detachment commander from when I was a small fucking boy soldier, he's leaning out and saying, I'm sorry I failed you. And I'm like, fuck mate, it's not your fault.
And is that something he might have seen already?
He was with me. He'd seen things like that in Bosnia.
Career, yeah.
He'd seen things in Bosnia, and he went on to do more later on.
Wow. So you done 2 more trips, then you done later in Kosovo, and then...
Yeah, I did 2 more tours in Iraq. Wow. I was in the Iraq War.
How did that compare to Kosovo?
Totally different.
In what way?
Completely unjustified.
Okay.
Absolute shower of shit.
But your job in it, as far as what you did, how was your experience in Kosovo versus Iraq, or Iraq versus Kosovo?
I was now in charge of a few people under me.
Because you were more senior then?
Yeah, I was a detachment commander. I'd been promoted. I actually got promoted again when I was out there. I did a really good job. right until the last week. The authority thing in me again. Yeah. Somebody said the wrong thing to me and...
Lost the plot?
Yeah, lost plot, yeah. Yeah, and I knocked 2 guys out in Basra.
Okay. And your platoon, or...?
No, they were RMPs.
Okay.
They were very rude to me. Very rude to me.
And what's your mentality then in places like that? It's not your normal everyday guy. I'm guessing you're a bit more wired or high strung, or...
No, actually the opposite.
Okay.
Because I'm doing my job, so it's complete professionalism. Of course there's stressful moments. Some days there are minutes where you're like, fucking fuck off.
Yeah.
You know, like, really, I don't need your shit today. I don't need humor today. I just need an hour or 2 to just fucking be myself. Whether it's be angry, go to the gym, go for a run, whatever it might be. Because we're living in a world where we're denying our emotions. That we are just this balanced, peaceful, calm, serene. It's like, can we get back to being human beings where it's okay to be angry, upset, hurt, pissed off? These are normal human being functions.
Yeah.
We feel them.
Yeah.
It's when we begin to deny them, that's the problem. No, I'm totally fine, lying to ourselves. I've always believed that you can lie to the world, but you cannot lie to yourself.
Yeah.
You will catch up on yourself. And that's when the problems start. And I think I might have been doing that a little bit when I was out there. No, I'm fine, totally fine. You know, I actually haven't spoken about this. Fuck. Motherfucker. At the end of the Iraq War, because there's before, the during, and the after the Iraq War, and then it goes into peacekeeping operations. We'd gone into peacekeeping, and there were 6 RMPs, and they got murdered when we were in Basra. They got pulled into a bunker and slaughtered. They weren't armed, so it's murder.
By who?
By the insurgents, the Iraqis, you know. And we had to repatriate them, which means, you know, draping them, the coffins in the Union Jack, and then they get put onto the Hercules and flown back to the UK. They land at Bryce Norton, and I don't know if people remember, but a lot of the time there, and they were going through Wootton Bassett.
Okay. And
it became a kind of thing. The whole town would come out, which was very respectful, but it's really hard. But I'd put body bags onto choppers before, which is not nice. But seeing 6 coffins getting draped, and then the piper, you know, when the minute the pipes played out, it's brutal. I just couldn't take it anymore. And I started to fall apart back then. That's when you start realising, the fuck am I doing? I'm just a kid from Banff. what the fuck am I doing in a shithole desert, fighting a war? I don't even know who the fuck it is anymore.
Yeah.
For some people that can't even stop and save a fucking burn at the side of the road, and all this stuff going through me, you know, I'm like, I don't think I want to do this anymore. And but that's PTSD.
Yeah.
It's not depression. I guess I'm starting to realize a bit more about the world. I'm like, this is just wrong.
So what is PTSD?
Post-traumatic stress disorder is a traumatic event that's happened to you physically. Basically, in a nutshell, is an ordinary response to an extraordinary stimulus. So something that shouldn't have happened.
Okay.
You know, like an accident or a rape or you've been beaten up on the street or betrayal. You know, it could be, and we're all very in different levels of it. But I didn't know what it was back then.
And how was it affecting you mentally?
Yeah. It really fucked my life up for a long time. I didn't know how to communicate what I was feeling. I'd never heard the words depression, trauma, anxiety back then.
They're more common words now than they were
Yeah.
20 years ago, for sure.
So this was 2003. This was starting to manifest. I came home. I got into a big fight. I hadn't part of my ear bitten off. Typical bar fights, typical soldiership. More trauma. I went AWOL, got married to a woman that I met in 9 weeks.
Okay.
Nobody once stopped and went, "Are you okay?" Not once. Not once.
How long were you married?
14 years.
Wow. Okay. Wasn't it a terrible, terrible decision?
No, no. You know, my son lives with me, and he is the joy of my life.
Good.
I look back on my marriage with pride. It ended, you know. She's moved on. She's doing well in her life. I've moved on. I'm building a business and a future for my son. You know, life moves on. But PTSD back then, fuck. It's actually a brain damage. I had to study this stuff because there was no answers. I phoned for help once, and I got told I had about a 19-month waiting list. I'd already attempted suicide 3 times. So I was like, I'm not going to be here in 19 days.
Yeah.
So.
And on the suicide time, so I think you've attempted suicide 4 times.
Yeah.
So
You've done your homework, mate.
well, were they before you got into oil and gas, or were they during your army time?
Army.
Okay, so what happened there? How did that come about? So we had a guest on here a few weeks ago. He's attempted suicide twice.
Yeah.
Good guy, runs a business in oil and gas and doing very well. But yeah, he's struggled with mental health as well.
Yeah.
Through different situation for yourself. But
Of course.
What was your experience, or what drove you to the point where you thought, I've had enough?
I was having night terrors. And they were an awful experience. And they actually came about. I went AWOL. Basically, I got bussed when I was in Iraq. So I got bussed twice. I came off the full screw board, which meant I was about to be a full corporal. And I had a fight with the RMPs. MPs, sorry, military police. They bussed me, reduced me in rank, docked my wages, RTU'd me, which meant I didn't get to finish my tour. So I got sent home alone.
Yeah.
No debrief. I landed in the UK, and the sergeant major said, "The fuck are you doing here?" Told him the story, went, "Just fuck, go home." So within 36 hours, I came off patrol, and then I was in my pub. Not a good move.
Yeah.
And I went, "Give me that whiskey." And I spent 5 weeks drinking whiskey. And it was carnage. It was bad. And then I started having these night terrors. It was weird because I'm gypsy by bloodline. All the women in my family are gypsies. So they're a bit interesting. You know, they've got stories and fables. So the word curse is what I thought I'd had. And I remember seeing the mum of that kid in Kosovo. looking at me as we drove off. And it's little things like that that stuck with me. And I was having this night terror of a gypsy-looking witch with twined ropey fingers going around me and choking me to death. And I was like unable to come out of this thing. Night terrors is paralysis. Yeah. And it's fucking, as it says, it is terrifying. And I kept having them, and I would wake up in fits of fucking tears. And I'm like, I've been cursed. This is them coming back to take the price. The gypsy part of me is fucking ridiculous. But that's how I manifested the thoughts of it. I tried to speak to the army, and they were like, there's nothing wrong with you. Just get back to work. So I went back to work, and I remember smelling diesel. And I just remember thinking, I just remember seeing that kid's face, and just fucking driving away from him, you know. It's still to this day it hurts, you know. And I just remember thinking, I don't think if I pass away, I don't think I'm gonna get to go to the pearly gates. You know, I'm definitely going to the other place. I know they don't exist really, but you know, that's what I was thinking to myself. And or at least I was thinking, if they do exist, you know,
You're fucked.
I'm fucked. So I remember thinking, well, I might as well just get this shit over with. And I kept seeing the kids playing over and over, like 1,000 times a day. And I just remember saying,
thought about.
It wasn't even I was thinking, it was in control of me.
Yeah.
Because the mapping them. So when I studied PTSD, I think I read 5,500 books in 10 years. Because I gave up drinking at one point. Because I wanted clarity. I wanted my sovereignty back. I wanted me back. The first time, I just took a knife to my wrist and I pressed down with everything I've got. And my ex-wife at the time slapped me. And I broke down. And she's like, you need help. And the next day I went to my staff sergeant and I told him, and he went, Beedie. I turned down and he went, I took a fucking set of balls, mate. And I remember relief. You know, like, oh my God,
at least somebody then listening to you as well. Somebody's aware.
Yeah, it
It's
didn't.
not just you and your head.
Yeah, but it didn't quite end like that.
Yeah.
So I went to the doctor right after, and the doctor said to me, so I see that you've went that way with a knife and it's not worked. You fucked that up. What you should have done is cut down the way. Yeah. That way you would have severed the artery. Now, whether he was trying to use some kind of scare tactic, I don't know. But I just remember thinking, what the fuck, mate?
Yeah, you just tell me what to do.
He literally just like giving me guidance. I was like, right, okay. And I switched off. And he went, have you tried an overdose? And I went, no, not yet. And he went, have you tried to hang yourself? And I went, not yet. And I remember going, is this cunt for real? And he was sitting in uniform. He was a captain. And I thought, they really just don't give a fuck.
Or just don't get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I'd had childhood traumas, abandonment.
Yeah.
My mum trying to find her way in life, you know, was trying to find a nice man. Sometimes I didn't come priority. So I had all these pieces of anger and bitterness. And they were stitching together. And I was just thinking, do they have any idea what's inside here?
Yeah.
The rage I am carrying. And so, yeah, there was a bit of a tussle between me and the army for a year or two. It didn't end well.
So that's when you came out of the army?
Well, I was on the way out. Second time I was driving so I was in Bulford in Wiltshire, and right next to Tidworth, which is a super garrison. About 30 miles across the A303 is a town called Andover. And that's where the main Tesco's and all that were. I was coming back from there one day. I remember looking at the dial, the speedometer, at a Ford Mondeo 2 litre blue piece of shit. Loved it. I loved it because you could actually, clean the spark plugs yourself.
Okay.
Back when you could actually work on the car.
Yeah.
And I remember just looking at the dial and going, I don't want to do this anymore. I let go of the wheel. I was in 55 on the road.
And did you hit something?
Yeah, I hit the bollard. And it wrecked the wing, the bumper, the light, the radiator. And I remember driving back.
What's your mindset when you take your hands off the wheel at that pace? No shitting yourself?
No. From what?
for hitting the bollard.
No, I was hoping for it.
Wow.
Just peaceful.
Just had enough.
Yeah. There's a weight to this volume.
Yeah.
You know, these thoughts, they're not like whispers, they're like lead weights, and they don't let up.
How far between the first attempt and second attempt?
Oh, weeks. Just a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
A few days after the car, my ex-wife at the time had a condition called supraventricular tachycardia, SVT, which is an irregular heart rhythm. And I remember because I read a manual on it because I wanted to
Understand
know.
it.
Yeah. Because it was quite hard for her. It was quite a scary thing. But she had beta blockers. So beta blockers, lower heart rates.
Yeah.
I think I took 120 of them one night. And she actually, you know, me and my ex-wife, we don't talk. We don't really get on that well. And that's both our fault. It's not her. She's not a bad person. It's both of us.
Yeah.
You know, and our stupidity and our hubris of being young and foolish. But we don't engage in it anyway, so it's fine. But she did good by me back then.
So you went to the hospital with that, I'm guessing.
Yeah, it wasn't good. Well, they actually threatened to lock me up that night.
You get pumped.
Yeah.
We'll move on. You left the military.
Yeah.
Came back and then got into oil and gas.
Yeah, I had a couple of jobs in between. I wasn't quite sure whether I'd lost my identity. You know, I'm not getting to put my uniform on. I didn't know who I was. But my son was here, and so I had to get my shit together.
Was that a reason for coming out of the military, your son?
No, for me, that was a pretty big reason. I was medically discharged. I could have fought harder to stay in. But I remember just thinking, what's the point in fighting for something that doesn't want you?
Yeah.
You know? There's a really great line. You know that film, Field of Dreams, with Kevin Costner? It's a fantastic film. By the way, if you build it, they don't come.
Yeah. I know that.
We all...
You're in our bar.
Right.
They didn't come.
Exactly right. But you know, like in marketing and business, people like they build...
We're using it for podcasting.
Exactly. There you go, right? So, but there's a great line in there. Is it Burt Lancaster that's the guy? I think it's Burt Lancaster. Doc.
Yep.
The guy who plays Doc. Now, when they cross the line, they go young again, but they can't ever come back. So he crosses the line and he gets to be a young self again. But he didn't get his moment in baseball. I'm getting goosebumps thinking about this. So these old movies hold this nostalgic goodness to them, and we've forgotten it. So he says, oh, you know, if only you'd got a moment in the sun, if only you'd just got that chance to swing the bat. And Burt Lancaster says, yeah, imagine that. If only I'd got that, I wouldn't have become a doctor. I wouldn't have been able to become a part of this town or this community. I wouldn't have met the woman of my dreams and fell in love and married her for 40 years. I wouldn't have had, you know,
all these things.
All these beautiful things. So yeah, sometimes life doesn't get you what you want because it's going to give you what you need. And I feel that happened to me. I wanted the military life so badly that it was taken from me. And what was actually given to me was an opportunity to look at myself with real eyes, you know, and say, all this stuff has happened to you, but it's, what are you going to do with it? You know, you were abandoned. Your mum could have done a better job. You were battered and bullied as a child. You were mocked at school for being an absolute mink. There were weeks when there was like nothing in the house to eat. Days of no electricity. Winters without coal. The fucking hard shit.
Mm-hmm.
And in the end, you know, serving my country, it didn't serve me back. So by all accounts, I should be a very bitter, angry individual. And instead, I've decided to say thank you. Thank you for the hurt. Thank you for the pain. Thank you for the opportunity to say there's nothing you can do.
Do you not think the no electricity, no coal, no money, no food, do you not think that gives you drive?
Unbelievable drive.
So I came from a place where we didn't have a lot of money. We didn't run on coal. In Glasgow we had power, electricity, but electricity cards or whatever, but we had times where you had no cash, no food,
Of course.
and yeah, it wasn't the greatest upkeeping, but I think it gives you a drive. I don't think it takes away from you. I think it adds to you.
Exactly that. I remember one time, me and my sister, my mum was, she was a bit upset because there was no electricity to put the heating on, the lights on to make toast in the morning. So I put the fire on and cooked toast for breakfast on the fire. And I remember it was like in a netjar. I never once felt sorry for myself.
You don't know what you've no got though, do you?
Yeah, it's true, yeah.
Where we grew up, everybody else was the same as us. There wasn't like anybody who was better than us. We were all fucking the same. We were all no power or no money. So
I remember being at my pal's one day. He was a good bloke, Chini, and his mum and dad were together. They were relatively well off, like middle class families. Dad owned a mechanic shop, and he was a good bloke. Barry was a sound dude. But I remember being at his house that weekend, and he's like, "Oh, Mum's cooking supper." I was like, "All right." He's like, "Guys, chicken fillets, chips and beans." I was like, "Fucking hell." I was like, "Yeah, but you get chicken fillets?" And he's like, "Aye, do you, Nan?" I was like, "I've never had chicken fillets." I was 12.
yeah, we were Findus pancakes
Exactly.
every day.
I don't, this is going to sound weird, right? But do you know like cold ham?
Yeah.
Like sliced cold ham, like the old butcher's machine, My mum would make mashed tatties and roll the mashed tatties in the ham. And that was what she gave us for supper. I fucking loved it. And I just thought that was normal.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But when we talk about this when I was in the army, my mates were like, "Mate, how fucking poor were you?" Do you know what I mean? I was like, fuck, I still like that food. Findus crispy pancakes. But yeah, the old chicken fillets, I was like, fuck me, man, you must be mitted rich.
Yeah.
And he's like, "No, really, Steve. You're just fucking poor."
So you move away from the military, you join, you have a couple of jobs, then you get into oil and gas, you join a drill crew or roustabout, roughing out.
Yeah, roasty. I'd hit the bottom of the barrel. My illness had taken hold so badly that I was making incredibly bad choices. Not because I was a bad person, I was unwell. It's post-traumatic stress, it rewires the brain in such a frantic fashion that everything's at high pace, high speed, high velocity. You're always on the go. You can't sleep, so you're not rested. You're not thinking with clarity and that kind of, that good kind of cadence, It's like if you're going downhill in a car, you want to just ease the brakes, nice cadence. If you're going down that hill and you like that with a brake, you're going to have the worst experience and damage the car, and the passengers aren't going to have much fun.
Yeah.
That's a kind of visual analogy. So I'm doing 100 mile an hour, hitting the brakes at the same time for years.
Yeah.
And I couldn't take it anymore, so I moved away. I quit drinking for clarity. And then I realised, oh, this is a nice feeling. I'm waking up every day rested. Oh, I might start going walking again. I might start reading it. And I was like, all these things were coming back to me. And I came across a book by a guy called Viktor Frankl called Man's Search for Meaning.
Okay.
And because I was feeling sorry for myself. Why has life been so hard? My career's been taken from me and I've got no money. God, I'm not a good dad. And this man had survived Auschwitz. His family were slaughtered in front of him.
Wow.
And he had every single piece of freedom taken from him. And yet, he decided that there was one thing they could not and would never be able to take. And that was his attitude to any given moment. He created something called logotherapy, which is Greek for meaning. And he took that after he survived Auschwitz, moved to America, and he grandfathered basically meaning-centered therapy. Instead of just sitting in your in the dark thoughts. Because we had Jungian therapy, which was the shadow self, and I studied all this stuff. It's incredible, incredible work. But each iteration helped build upon the next. So I discovered that mental health is recorded back to the Roman Empire.
Wow.
This stuff is not new.
You wouldn't think mental health goes by in the 1970s?
You wouldn't. I have white papers going back to 1965 regarding the North Sea. This stuff's not new.
Yeah.
So yeah, I tiptoeing a bit forward there. Sorry, mate.
It's all right.
I wanted to give my son the best life possible with the routine and that he would never have to skip a meal. So I went offshore.
What age was your son?
He, what was it, 2020? He was 3.
So you went off as a derrickman?
No. Went off as a roustabout.
A roustabout.
Started off as a rousty. Instantly loved it. The minute I landed on the Noble Byron Welliver in winter and fucking loved it. I was like, this is home.
Yeah. How different was the working offshore to working or no working in, but being in the military?
Very similar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd had jobs in between that I just couldn't fit in. I had a job working on the roadworks, Bear Scotland. Fine job. I was a snappily driver. But in the summertime, they would do the road maintenance. I was always the first of the yard. And then we would go out to work. I would get out the vehicle and they'd be like, whoa, Stevie, cup of tea first. I'm like, I've not even started work yet. I'm like, come on, boys. And they'll,
Road workers are renowned for it.
but I couldn't live like that. Because
Yeah.
I'm like, I need to go. Which I'm not saying is healthy.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that they're wrong. I'm just saying that I couldn't fit into that. Offshore, however, they were like, fucking let this cunt loose. Even now, I'm just go.
How easy was it to get off as, would you be a green hand then?
Yeah, I was like,
How easy was it to get off?
it was not easy.
Yeah, because it's hard. I worked in recruitment for a long time, and
Yeah.
I got a lot of phone calls for guys. Oh, I've done my certs, I'm ready to go. It's like, where are you going?
Hi,
There's nowhere for you to go.
took me 7 months.
Yeah,
I begged, borrowed and stole the money to get my survival, Bosie and all that stuff. Mist wasn't in yet. I think it was just on its way in. I remember phoning, it was about 100 times a day.
just phoning all the agencies and everything.
I never let up
Yeah,
because I was desperate, really hungry.
yeah.
There were stories about an ex-para that parked up a tent outside the Transocean and he ended up getting a job. I think he slept outside in the green. There's stories I cut all the time, but yeah, I got my first job via team recruitment.
Yep.
And I'm still friends with the lassie that got me the job.
Okay.
And she's a wonderful lassie. Her and her husband, the absolute dream team. She's like, remember I got you your first job? But
Who was she?
Lauren Wallers.
Oh, okay.
Lauren Wallers.
I don't know Lauren. I know a couple of the team there.
Yeah, but she got me my first job offshore. And I remember looking at the contract. £147 a day. Because I was getting shot at in Iraq for 59.
Wow.
You know, and I was having to pay council tax when I was out there. Mental. £140 a day. All my troubles are over. Yeah, over.
Loaded.
Fucking minted. Going offshore and I'm like, you boys are getting £700 a day.
Yeah.
And like, when I get out of bed for less than 5, I'm like, fuck, am I doing wrong? Yeah.
So you progressed then for rousty up to derrickman?
Yeah, I was roughneck for a few years, then lead hand. And then I got the job as derrickman. I was derrickman for quite a while. 6-7 years I was derrickman.
Okay, and then you came up back for offshore when?
So I went back freelancing, and because I guess that's the travel. I mean, I like to kind of move about a bit. Did a bit outside in Africa, good money.
Yeah. Whereabouts in Africa?
Senegal.
Okay.
Which was good. And I'd had this thing inside me the whole time. I'd been doing years of charity work, public appearances. I've been on TV, the news, radio, press, all that wonderful, great stuff. I had a Facebook page, 28,000 followers, and organically it was doing 20+ million reach a year, which was incredible.
Yeah.
But I was like, I don't want to work for anyone. Like, I want to be my own boss. I was terrified of that concept because stepping away from 50, 60,000 a year, give or take salary, it's a hard thing to even contemplate.
Yeah.
Because you become accustomed to it.
Mm-hmm. Everybody's life becomes accustomed to their bills. Yeah.
100%. But it wasn't enough
Yeah.
to keep me going for my dream. That child in me, that hunger, that tenacity, that drive, something inside of me just would not shut the fuck up. And my father died. And I remember feeling, what the fuck am I doing? Who am I doing this for?
Yeah.
Why am I offshore? Am I doing this for me? Or is this to win his approval still?
Did he die when you were offshore?
I was still working offshore. I was at home the day he passed. It's weird. My brother's a pusher, tool pusher. He's not the biggest communicator on WhatsApp. In person, me and him are like, close. But so he's got no social media. He's not a big social person on WhatsApp. I remember waking up and I was about 37 fucking missed calls. I was like,
The fuck?
yeah.
Yeah, so you know what's happening.
Yeah, and I phoned him up and I just remember him saying, he's gone. And I didn't take that. I didn't take my father's passing very well. It's 2 years to this day actually, coming up.
Wow.
It's still hard, And me and my dad, we had a couple of fallouts. But that's the way, isn't it?
It's life.
It's life.
Yeah.
But I remember having a couple of big a big one, and I hadn't spoken to him for a long time. And my brother was like, come and see Dad. I was like, no, I'm not fucking going to see that old miserable bastard. And he's like, look, he's a bastard. He's always been a bastard. But he's our bastard.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck. I think you're right, I was like, how imperfect am I? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So what was the turning point then that made you go from working offshore to deciding to go and become a speaker, advocate for mental health?
I would rather fail on my own dreams than succeed on somebody else's. What the fuck was I offshore for?
Yeah. Just for the cash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was so stressed out. And I'm not going to lie. The industry, I love it. I fucking love it. It's in my blood. I'm going to do everything I can to make it better while I'm still here and I can do something about it. But this dual role, multiple fucking skill sets is stressful. And at one point, you've got guys being roughneck stroke casing crew. So to save money on casing roles, you can save like 8 million a year by giving the casing hand to the roughnecks. The roughnecks are already busy.
Yeah.
What are they going to do? So the stress of it all, because what are they going to say? No.
Yeah.
What else are you going to get?
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm not doing dual role. They're like, you fucking are. I went, I'm fucking not. The authority in me again. And I thought, do you know what? What am I fighting them for?
Yeah.
Just go and build your own thing.
Yeah.
That way, whenever I got a job and a client of me said, we can't wait for you to go offshore. So yeah, if you just, we'll send you this link, because I was a PA when I was offshore, a performing authority for permits and things like that.
Yeah.
And I remember them saying to me, yeah, we'll send you the permit course. And I was like, why? They were like, because you're going to be going offshore. And I went, am I going to be doing like actual work? No. I went, well, why would you want me to do the permit course? It's just standard. I went, yeah, well, I'll give you your money back. They're like, what? I said, I'm not doing that. I said, that's 15 years of doing this. I'm a communicator, I'm a business owner, I'm a talker. I'm going out to work with your teams, not to do permits.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we'll have to think about that. I went, there's no need to think about it. It's totally cool. It's just a no from me. They came back and they're like, yeah, you don't need to do it. I'm like, at what point did you think that would be okay?
Yeah.
I'm going out as a consultant and not to do any permit related kind of work. I was like, they're still quite archaic in their thinking sometimes, and they need to move forward with the times.
Yeah. And when you started Unspoken Wounds, then who was your sort of first client? How did you get started as far as work and getting paid?
Well, Unspoken Wounds started years ago for veterans.
Yeah.
It actually was first called Unspoken Wounds of the Armed Forces.
Right.
And nobody came on board. And all these women started joining. I was like, what the fuck? Why are all these women joining? Now, I didn't know at the time. It was my first true lesson in marketing and branding and customer avatar type thinking. Know your client type of stuff. Look at all these women. Oh, this is weird. I want to talk to the boys. And then it clicked. It was the wives, daughters, aunties, mothers, and sisters of all the men.
Yeah.
They had become the primary carers, and they were looking for somewhere so they could get their fucking husbands to finally talk. So I was like, the light bulb moment, I was like, shit. There they rode in. Because I remember, I'm not asking for help.
Yeah.
You know? So unspoken wounds, an unspoken wound is that thing that you've been saying to yourself for years, but you've never been saying to anyone else on the world. And it sits inside you, and it keeps coming back to you, and it repeats over and over again. And it has an actual gravity to it. And you know it's there. And there's no denying it. And it's an unspoken thing because you're fucking terrified of it. What will this mean if I admit it?
Yeah.
For example, I was on a call today with a friend of mine, a business associate, and I admitted I was feeling a bit of jealousy towards somebody else. It's totally healthy. See, jealousy is a human emotion. Why was I feeling jealousy? And I unwrapped it and I was like, well, this is interesting. Because I do not hide behind the ego that masculinity is I am unable to do any wrong. I'm a man. I do things, I get mistakes all the time. But I am here to stand on my truth and say, I fuck up.
Yeah.
So an unspoken wound when I took it to offshore was to help relieve the stress on an industry that doesn't know how to have a conversation around this subject.
And do you think that's improved?
Massively.
How come?
Because companies are coming to me now and they're actually paying me a small fortune. They're saying, we give a fuck. We are willing to pay you what you're worth, and we want to fly you out to our installations. I have had clients pay me to come to Croatia, Dubai, India, Qatar, North Sea, offices in Aberdeen, down in Birmingham.
And what's the, when you go to all these places, what's the message you're trying to convey to the people who work in these places?
Ask for help.
Okay. And what experiences have you, or what have you experienced with the people you've spoke to? Have you had anybody come to you and say, fucking hell, Steve, I'm really struggling, or
Yeah,
a lot?
a lot. You know, loads and loads. Mostly men.
Yeah.
Mostly blokey blokes.
Yeah.
You know, scaffs, roughnecks, you know, drillers. I sat down with the tool pusher. Was it three months ago? At Garty Starbucks. Sat down with him for 5 hours. I did that for free.
Yeah.
I was a favour for a friend.
What was his situation then?
He had recently come through a pretty tough divorce.
Yeah.
Was coming to the conclusion that quite a lot of it was mainly his fault. And he was coming to terms with that. And he'd taken a trip off, which turned into 6 months off. Now he's worried about going back. So I intervened and said, there's someone I want to introduce you to, a friend of mine. It's a psychologist who is ex-military and also works in this energy side. And he did a return to work, mental health medical.
Yeah.
We developed a little system and it worked. He's now back at work.
So for just randomly get guys who work offshore or work in offices or whatever, there's no anything really for them. There's no, especially small businesses, restaurants, bars, whatever. There's nobody, small companies like that can't afford to put somebody in place to offer that support. You just, I guess the majority, you're just hoping the staff are okay. But for the guys offshore, they're sending somebody like you, or the businesses are taking an actual interest in actually putting money towards this. What do they expect to get for that in the end? What are they? Is it just a tick box, or is it something they actually want to make sure, from a health and safety point of view, people are all right, or is it maybe something to do with the rotations that guys are working offshore? What's the reasoning?
It's not a tick box anymore.
No.
And I'm saying that hand on my heart. 4 or 5 years ago, some of it felt very tick boxy, which I just don't do, as you can tell by the candor and the vernacular of the bloke I am.
Yeah.
I am working with clients just now who have said to me, we just lost someone. It is affecting everyone. We don't know what to do.
And as well as going offshore, do you go into companies' offices here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was in offices last week. Pretty much 2-3 times a week I'm in somebody's office delivering a talk, a presentation. So I've got a variety of services I offer.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And, we just tailor it. I ask them, I don't just go, this is what you need. I'll sit down with them and say, what are you looking for? What would feel right for you? And we develop something that feels right for them.
Yeah. And we're an industry with many different cultures. The European companies are very different from the American companies, from the Chinese companies. So a lot of different cultures within this industry.
Oh, definitely. I had a trip in India. They were brilliant.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because the kind of one thing that can kind of cross barriers I've found is either comedy or sports. And I love both.
Yeah.
And I went to India and I was like, fuck, and I was like, cricket, fucking cricket. And people were like, Steve, that's a bit, I was like, shut up, it's India.
Do you know anything about cricket?
I know fuck all about cricket, but I served with a guy who knows shitloads about it. So I was like, Neil, fucking hell, mate, I'm going to India. And he's like, whoa. He's like, oh, very funny. I was like, no, mate, I'm actually going to India. You need to fucking tell me about cricket. And he's like, fucking hell, you got 10 years. But I went over.
Not a traditional Scottish sport.
I know, exactly. But I went over there and I just leveled with them, But one of their managers actually used Bollywood.
Okay.
I didn't know this. Bollywood actors were admitting suicidal thoughts, depression, anxiety, and I saw them engage, and I was like, there is a way to communicate this at every level.
Yeah.
So the secret, really, for me, is not that I'm smart or intelligent or I know some secret. It's the language. See, I know how to talk to veterans because I am one.
Yeah.
I know that, the secret, the secret language, but that undertone, the things that only we know. For example, if you're in the army, if something is really good, it's called Gucci. Oh, have you got them Gucci boots? You got that Gucci sight? That's just how we say things, If something's extra, if there's more of it, it's called bakshi. Oh, mate, got any more of that bakshi soup?
Yeah.
You've got an extra soup, mate. Offshore's the same. There's a language.
Yeah.
I know that language because it is my language. So I know how to talk to them. So I go offshore and I always say the same thing. If you hire me to come out or I come to your office to do, free stuff, I wear my jeans and my t-shirt and a hat. I'm usually unshaven. I'm always unshaven. I swear like a trooper and I am rough as fuck.
Yeah.
Every single one of them have said, good, that's exactly what we're looking for because we've tried the clinical approach and it's not working.
Yeah.
They need somebody that can be relatable.
So what do you think companies within the energy sector can do more to help people's mental health?
That's a really good question. I would like to say that I am actually proud of the efforts that they've put in so far because let's be honest, they're energy companies.
Yeah.
They're not mental health people.
Yeah.
That's not their skill set, their talent. Drilling in energy is to extract energy from the earth, whether it's fossil fuel, renewable, clean, whatever you call it. That's industrial level shit.
Yeah.
I believe that the work that we've done in the last 40 years is proven that we have done a great job of it. We're not great at mental health, but we're doing a really fucking good job to try and learn it as fast as we can.
So for the time being, is it a case of keep speaking, keep open?
Yeah. Just, there's a few things that they've said, and I love it. Steve, we don't know what to do. At admitting this isn't quite our place, we don't know what to do. That is it. Ask for help.
Yeah.
Reach out, ask for help.
For anybody who would be struggling mentally right now, what would be your message to somebody like that?
Oh, I know what that feels like. I'm not in your shoes, but I know the feeling of stress and overwhelm and the burden of feeling like you're on your own. It's a lonely, scary place. Please, for the love of God, please just ask for help. It is the bravest thing you can do, the toughest, the most courageous thing you can do, to ask for help and say, I'm not coping, I need help. Yes, in this industry, there is that stigma of, if I admit that there's an issue, will this affect my career?
Yeah.
I'm just going to put it bluntly.
I think that's in every career.
Yeah, I'm going to put it out there. It's just a fucking career.
Yeah.
It's just a job.
Yeah.
Come on. Like, honestly, we're talking about your life here. You go to work, you make the big bucks. Why? So you can take care of the ones at home. That's really why we're doing this.
Yeah.
So that you could actually have a woman or a man look at you and go, he provides or she provides, so that your kids can get a good Christmas, good food, and never go without. This is why we do it.
Yeah.
And we're driven people. We want to succeed. So let's not deny that. But it is just stuff.
Yeah.
Because if you pretend it and you don't ask for help, and you can't take it anymore, and you do the inevitable awful thing, then that job won't matter anyway.
Yeah.
So it's just a career.
So irrelevant.
It is so irrelevant.
I'll ask you one more question, Steve. What's a good day for Steve?
What's a good day for Steve? So the obvious one for me is when I spend a lot of time with my son. Yeah, he actually said to me the other day, Dad, for fuck's sake, can I get a bit of time away from you?
Had enough of you.
He's had enough of your shit for fucking weeks, man. I was like, fair enough. I
Little show soon.
actually said, fair enough. I went to a Boyne and caught up with an ex-sniper pal of mine. I said, I'm just going to stay here the night, and I booked in a hotel. Because I know, because we all need space.
Spending time with your boy.
Spending time with my boy. But I've recently started working with an incredible client, and I did a week with them a couple of months back, and I was on two of their assets. So I was on a rig and a vessel, and I got talking to a guy on my last day, and I could tell there was something underneath. So I didn't push it, and the session ended, and the guys kind of left, and he stuck around. I was like, "You want to have a chat, mate? This is what lights me up."
Yeah.
And he just offloaded. He's like, I can't talk to my wife about this stuff because it will look like I am not a man. I was like, let's go. So we were about 2 hours back and forth, and I saw the weight just evaporate from him. He disappeared. And then I could see he was still a bit anxious about something. I was like, what's wrong? He said, I don't know what to do if I have this feeling again. I said, oh, that's easy, mate. Here's my WhatsApp. And he went, you'll give me your number? I said, of course, mate. He said, yeah, but we won't be here. I said, mate, this is 24/7 for me.
Just message me.
Just message me. I said, even if it's 6 years from now, I'll remember this. And he was like, no one has ever shown me this amount of dedication. I was like, mate, this is my life. I am obsessed with this stuff. And he messaged me the day after I go home. And the WhatsApp, man, was the nicest thing anyone had said to me in years. That's why I do what I do, because he's just this guy I've never met, and he's on a vessel, and he's holding all this stuff in, and all it took was, here's my WhatsApp,
Just to take the stress out.
That's all it takes. There's no course for this.
No.
Leave it better than you found it. That's really all it is.
Perfect. Steve, thank you very much.
You're very welcome, mate. You're very welcome, mate.